So this is Copperdale High, not so bad, right? Well, that's at least until you take a look inside where it is a different story. Empty hallways, a bare cafeteria, a floor plan that lacks motivation.
And just what the fuck is that?
But what if Copperdale High didn't suck so hard? And what if Copperdale High looked so much more realistic and just felt alive? Well, here's what I've done. I built a somewhat realistic high school with 2 stories, totaling 4,354 square feet. It has a proper bus drop-off, it has a swimming pool, it has f***ing ramps for God's sakes, and it has a lot more necessary shit, which you'll see on a separate video where we take a first-person view tour of the school. You can find that video in the description. I'll be dropping the link as soon as I upload that video in a day or two. Alright people, my name is Angel and I'm on a mission to replace every single lot in The Sims 4, and just so you know, I officially upload a new video every Friday as part of this series. As a side note, let me remind you that if you don't enjoy this video, Miss Crumple Bottom gets it, so just pretend you're having fun. You will find 5 different classrooms, an art room, a science room, and some more generic ones that you can use your imagination to turn them into whatever the fuck you want. There is also a decently sized computer room and a library that is open to the below area, which is kind of a hangout station and an area for school fairs or stuff like that. For physical activity, there is an indoor basketball court, a cheerleading practice area, and a huge lab swimming pool connected by the locker room area. As far as the staff rooms, there is a main office which connects to the nurse's office, the principal's office, teacher's lounge, and the teacher's bathroom. There is also a furnished kitchen in the cafeteria for a touch of added realism. All in all, I think the floor plan I came up with is an improvement over the basic as fuck school we got with the pack. You'll also notice that unlike probably every other school built on YouTube for this pack, my school is also not facing the front of the lot, and that's because I wanted to create a proper bus drop-off where the bus loop is, and I just thought it will add to the realism. At least it does for me, because here where I live in Florida, for the most part, most schools have a fairly sized bus drop-off area instead of these ginormous plazas in front of the school. So because it was really important for me to create that bus drop-off area and walkway, I will have to orient the school in a different direction. Another consideration when choosing the direction in which the school will face was the parking lot. As you saw in the beginning of the video, if you didn't skip, like an asshole, I did add another parking lot within the boundaries of the lot. So basically that parking is for staff members, or there are also a couple of parking spots for people with disabilities, as well as a ramp to access their parking lot. Which, by the way, I am not a person with disabilities, but I just thought for a school build it was essential for me to try and be inclusive in all regards, especially since this pack kind of focuses heavily on queer inclusivity and identity. In this vein, another detail I at least tried paying attention to was trying to incorporate universal design elements. And while there is also not a lot we can do in The Sims as far as universal design or accessibility, there is a few things I was able to incorporate. One simple way I was able to achieve this in The Sims was by using doors that have horizontal door handles instead of doorknobs. For that reason, I pretty much didn't use the new doors that came with this pack. In addition to the door handles, I also created ramps on either side of the school and the rear side of the school. For the interior of the school, while you see me change it a million times, I eventually settled for a super plain beige brick that to me was reminiscent of the schools here in my city. Very uninspiring, and for the most part just inoffensive. I thought it fit the aesthetic I was going for this school, very functional and realistic, or at least that's what I tell myself to make myself feel better. But moving on, another way I tried achieving a somewhat realistic school was by incorporating security measures. On the outside, for example, you'll see I added some fencing, which ideally, this fencing will actually go around the entire school property, including the bus area and the other parking lot, but I can do that, so I added in a way that I thought at least would make sense, keeping the limitations in mind. Another security feature that I added in this build is a little check-in counter inside of the school. Like, it is not functional, but again, with the power of our imagination, we can pretend it is functional. This was such a fun build to create. I have never built a school in The Sims before, so I really enjoyed the challenge of creating the floor plan. I looked at possibly hundreds of images on Google to use as reference to create the floor plan for the school because I had no idea where to even start. For the most part, Like 90% of the time, I will draw floor plans for any build I take on because the layout and the floor plan of the house or build is super important to me. And I just didn't know like how to draw the floor plan for a school, you know? So, and I like my floor plans to make sense and be somewhat realistic. Having closets and utility rooms, garages, structural supports, and to really make sense for the people living in it. I really like creating a sense of flow in my builds, and I want them to feel real and represent the Sims that live in it or the Sims that visit the lot if it's like a public lot. For example, there are general closets or maintenance rooms in this build. They are not needed in the Sims, but they do add to the lore of the school. And oftentimes for me to achieve what I want in my builds to like make to feel alive, I rely on custom content, but I actually did not use any custom content for this build. However, I did use a lot of the packs I own, which is almost all of them. By the way, you can find the link to download this house in the description below. And while you're down there reaching for that link, go ahead and click the like button, but most importantly, the subscribe button. I set a goal for myself and my boyfriend because he's just amazing and he's just supportive that I'm going to try and make it to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But we'll see how that goes. Another goal that I have set for myself is to eventually be able to post weekly instead of every other 2 weeks. But for that, I will need your support. So again, subscribe if you want to help me out and also enjoy some great builds and just some great humor. At least I like to think that I'm funny. I don't know. We'll see. You'll be the judge of that. If you have any feedback, please leave it down below in the comments, or if you have something nice to say, also leave it down in the comments and I'll be sure to get a response. If you want to be a bitch in the comments, go ahead and be a bitch in the comments. I'll also be a bitch back. I love bantering, so let's banter together in the comment section, people. But that's it guys. I'm going to cut this voiceover short because I have to finish recording this before my family gets home because they are loud as hell. If you haven't checked out any of my other videos, you can do so by clicking on the little photo with my logo right underneath this video. If you made it all the way over here, let me know you did by typing "Take Mrs. Crumple Bottom Out" in the comment section. Again, thank you. I appreciate you watching. If you did, I'll see you around.